We just had a huge tax increase. Now, if that's the legislature's response to job development, that's not going to happen. There's all kinds of industry that can move to other places, Georgia or one of those. It doesn't have to be here. We don't have to raise taxes every time we turn around. My dad, selectman in a small town, he says, it's not how much money you make, it's what do you do with it. And he was very frugal, very frugal. Man came to him looking for grocery money on a Friday. He was a selectman. He'd been doing this for the past 40 years. Had a grocery business during the summertime, and then he came down there for grocery money in the wintertime. He made a lot of money in the summertime. My father put him out on the road, cutting brush. It lasted 2 days. Got himself a job for the winter, and broke that cycle of dependency. Now that's something that we need to do in this state right now, is break a cycle of dependency. We have people here in this town right now that their fathers, mothers, and grandfathers were born, raised on welfare in our housing projects from one generation to the other, and handed down. Now, it's going to change. The attitude of how low can I go so that I qualify for these programs, it's going to stop. And when it comes to the guns issue, folks, in my family, we had 3855, 303 Savage, 16 gauge double barrel shotgun, and a 10 gauge shotgun, and a 22 also, right by our back door. We didn't need permits for them. We didn't have any handguns. My grandfather had a Derringer. That was all. We didn't need permits, and his one particular thing that my grandfather was afraid of was having someone register his gun. This is the man born in the 1800s, because he was always afraid the government was going to come and take his guns away, one form or another. So, having said that, I appreciate you coming here, Governor.
Sure.
And please, we don't need no more new taxes, because they're, quite frankly, we're running ourselves out of business here.
So let me just respond to that. I have to agree with you. My biennium or 2-year budget doesn't raise taxes. And I have to agree with you that we shouldn't raise taxes. Right now I'm getting beat up by the people who don't want me to cut the budget. Well, if you don't cut the budget, actually if you don't limit the size of the budget, then you have to raise taxes. So my budget put out on February 5th doesn't raise taxes. And that's what I intend to hold to. I do want to point out to you that we've created 22,000 private sector jobs since I became governor. 22,000 private sector jobs. So when you talk about what happened in the past, that's not what's happened in the last 26 months. In fact, in January of this year, this January, and I don't live and die by the month-to-month statistics because they had most of last year wrong. But the statistics indicate we had 4,000 jobs, private sector jobs in January. So I'm not saying we're doing everything perfect, we're not. And I'm agreeing with you that we shouldn't raise taxes more. But we are starting to create jobs again. Not us, the private sector. Some of the things that we're doing on the Small Business Express program is actually helping small businesses grow and hire more people. We've had, in the last year, we had 2 Fortune 500 companies move their headquarters to Connecticut. The last time we had even spoke about 2 Fortune 500 companies was in 2006, when 2 of them left. So it's not a perfect world. We're not perfect, but we are making some progress, and we can't allow ourselves to get wrapped up in the idea that things aren't getting better. They're not getting better fast enough. But 22,000 jobs in a state our size is a pretty good start.
Well, I think you're right in some respects there, but I call it nationwide, I call it a crisis of confidence. People just don't have the impression that things are going to get better, and they won't.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
number of people that are covered by Medicaid. I know you're getting your numbers down right now, working with everything I'm saying right now. But it just seems like this budget is really tough on hospitals at a time when we're treating more Medicaid patients than ever before. We lose money, from what I understand, on Medicaid patients. And I guess basically my question is, knowing that all to be true, why would the cuts have to be so severe now to hospitals? Isn't there some kind of middle ground that we can reach?
So let me correct a couple things. Overall funding to hospitals in the state will remain at roughly $1.7 billion. So the idea that hospitals are being cut, and this is the group of hospitals, isn't true.
Yeah.
Now,
go ahead.
There will be, based on the number of people seen at a hospital and what the mix of people being seen at a hospital, there may be winners and losers, but the overall amount is $1.7 billion. But now I want to share something with you. In 2010, really only 3 years ago, but fiscal year 2010, we were supporting hospitals to the tune of $925 million a year. That has now grown to $1.7 billion a year. $1.7 billion from $925 million. Now, in the 925 year, I don't have the exact dish number. There was a dish payment, which was the unreimbursed. So it probably was maybe somewhat higher than that. But if you take it out, if I take the dish payment out, it actually went from 925 to the current year 1476. So in a 4-year period of time, $500 million more per year is going to hospitals. We can't afford it.
That sounds great, but it's not that simple. It's not as simple as what you're stating. You know, a lot has changed in healthcare over the years, and it's not as simple as you're stating right now. I mean, no hospital right now is applauding the budget that you're proposing.
No, of course they're not.
No hospitals are happy with it. It's not that we want to make money. They're not-for-profit hospitals that are taking care of more and more people, and the people that are insured that we're taking care of, that are on Medicaid, we lose money on those patients.
The average salary of the head of a hospital in the state of Connecticut is well in excess of $1 million a year. In fact, it averages closer to $2 million a year. The hospitals collectively, in the last year that we have the numbers for, had a $30 million advertising campaign that they paid for. And I'm telling you, and you can be as dismissive as you want, going from 925 million to 1476 in that short a period of time, when I look around this room, these people don't want to pay more taxes. They don't want me to go back and raise taxes.
I actually live here too. I mean, I'm not saying I want you to raise taxes.
So you know, there is a reality that hospitals have gotten a lot of money from the people in this room. And they're going to continue to get a lot of money from the people in this room.
And hospitals also provide care to anybody that comes through their doors. I mean, it's not as simple as what you're saying. And I think that there's a disconnect in communication between politicians and hospitals, because, you know, I think there's a middle ground. I don't think it's as simple as what you're saying or as I'm saying.
Actually, I think, you know, what I would tell you is, the dish payment, which is the unreimbursed, as you probably know, disappears under the Health Reform Act. As more and more people have insurance, including Medicaid, and as we go this January 1st, we go to 133% of poverty will qualify for Medicaid. So all of those folks who used to show up with no insurance, a good number of them are going to show up with insurance. And what the hospitals are arguing is, we should ignore that fact, and we should give them just as much money for dish payments as they were receiving when people didn't have that coverage. We can't afford that. I mean, we can't. I mean, you folks want me to raise your taxes? You want me to raise your taxes? So, I mean, I hear you. And I think change is hard, gotta be looking at, hospitals looking themselves in the mirror and saying, hey, how many people earning $1 million or 500,000 or more a year can we actually afford?
Yeah, but I mean, really, we employ 2,000 people, many of them live in this region, and, by far, none of them are making that kind of money.
In 2011, your hospital, to their current leadership and past leadership, one position, two different holders, were paying $2.2 million.
We heard that.
$2.2 million. So
CEOs are hired.
let me assure you, the person who's changing the bedpan, not making $2.2 million.
No, they're not, but I'm not talking about CEOs. And CEOs they're hired by boards, and
Okay.
I guess we'll agree to disagree.
Yeah,
but
no,
I think
and I'm not trying to be disagreeable.
I'm not a CFO, but
I'm just trying to be, what I'm trying to tell you is, the pool of money to be divided by the hospitals will remain the same. It's not being reduced.
Jackson Lab, is that what you think of? Jackson Lab?
thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Next we have Kathleen Stoper, followed by John Farrar.
Hello?
Good evening, Governor. Kathleen Stauffer from the Ark New London County. I just wanted to say thank you, not just for coming here tonight and having a dialogue that you've repeatedly worked on establishing a dialogue with Southeastern Connecticut. Before this administration, I'm not sure we had a governor. We certainly never saw them. And I would reiterate also what Jack Malone said. As somebody who's responsible for making sure people with disabilities in 13 homes stay safe in power outages, you were there, and we're grateful. The Ark New London County serves people with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and as you know, a lot of folks who do what we do are struggling to keep their doors open, and some have announced recently they're closing their doors. And Southeastern Connecticut already is in a bad way economically, lagging behind the country. And we've really done everything we could do to make sure we don't have to lay anybody off. We did a merger, saved $500,000 in operating costs annually moving forward. We've invested in technology. We brought our quality assurance scores up 7%. So we are a very lean operation. We employ about 300 people in New London County. And now we need to come up with, by 2014, another $300,000 to comply with the unfunded mandates of the Affordable Care Act, which I do support. I do think we should provide insurance to people, but we're what's called a low-rate provider. We were founded by families. We're 60 years old, and we get paid less than everybody else in the state. We're below the standard rates that DDS pays, and we really need help keeping our people insured under the Affordable Care mandate.
Okay. I invite you to send me some information on the specifics that apply to your agency. Aaron will give you a card. Explain the insurance part of it to me, if you would. Give me a little more background on it.
We will. Thanks a lot.
And so most of those homes would be under Terry Lacy, or
That's right.
okay. So if you give us some specific information, we'll look into it. I can't make a promise, but I promise you, other than that, we'll look into it.
That's all we ask.